we do a lot of natural resource management research, so applied ecology, applied population ecology, mainly in low governance parts of the Amazon where basically the government's completely absent. So in a way, we fill in the role of government. But basically what we're trying to do is create a large-scale system of resource renewal that benefits everyone, including local communities. And we do all that with the help of dozens of local communities who are now very engaged in the whole process. So essentially we do a lot of population ecology behind this. So the work with people is actually, to some degree, secondary, because we're essentially measuring population growth of all the key resource populations. So there is a component of science, and there is a component of the outreach of that science, including local engagement, advocacy, etc. And we ended up doing a little bit of activism as well. So for example, recently, we've helped to kick out a bunch of gold miners from the river basin where we work. And a lot of this is basically happening in the Juruá River, which is a first-order tributary of the Amazon, right? If you're from the US, it's about double the length of the Mississippi. And we work along 1/3 of that river within Brazil and Peru. That's nearly 1,500 kilometers, our study area. So we have the largest study area in the tropics. And within that section of the river, we work with pretty much every local community who are essentially guarding their own patch and protecting their own resources for their own benefits. So in summary, that's the link to the award from the prize. Yeah, so basically what we've built is essentially a large-scale mosaic, a macro mosaic if you like, of areas that are exploited to different degrees. So we have no-take areas where no one can harvest anything, and this is, we're talking about fisheries, freshwater fisheries. And then we have other areas that can be harvested for subsistence only. And then we have areas that are essentially open to everyone, including commercial fisheries. So we have that mosaic. Now we're including in that mosaic, we have about 450 lakes, oxbow lakes. So the Juruá is one of the most meandering rivers on the planet. And every one of these lakes is at least 3 kilometers long. So we work in a very large area. So we're essentially helping to build a program that will eventually protect multiple river basins across the Amazon. So the Arapaima Fisheries Management Program alone, which is only one component of the whole thing, is already protecting 12 million hectares of floodplain in multiple river basins. And we feel that this is just the beginning because there are a lot of local communities in other places that are ready to get started, ready to become engaged. So we think that this is going to catch on like a wildfire. Yeah. We're profoundly honored to win the award. So we run a conservation organization, it's a nonprofit NGO in Brazil called Instituto Juruá. It's a nice website you can visit, which is basically doing much of the work that I'm going to be talking about. So we have a team of about 22 people at the moment, and the award will basically support the mission statement of that organization. It's going to go entirely to that organization. And what we're planning to do is basically roll out what we're doing in that section of the Juruá River to other places, both upstream, upriver and downriver, but also other river basins. So we're basically going to build on what we have now and do essentially bigger and better elsewhere. So there's a huge discussion right now about development in the Amazon, not just in the Amazon, but all the sparsely settled wilderness areas of the tropics, because everything is up for grabs, right? So essentially the private capital, private enterprise are moving in. So if these areas are completely vacant, so you have a power vacuum, if you like, they will be overtaken by private interests. We're talking about logging, cattle ranching, land grabbing, gold mining, all of these things. And what we're basically trying to do is help local communities, empower these local communities to protect their own patch. We're not just talking about sustainable use of protected areas, we're talking about communities outside those protected areas as well. So in conservation biology nowadays, conservation science, there's a big debate about conservation outside protected areas. That's what we're doing. And essentially, you know, giving them the weapons and the tools to prevent that kind of predatory exploitation of natural resources. And this is what we've seen throughout the Brazilian Amazon in the last 50 years.